Ariane Studios, why you don't allow me to change hairstyles to the blah blah blah. Yo. Nice episode. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. Maybe it'll be a two-parter. No, no, they. God damn it, son of a bitch. I'm ready to bitch and moan about that.
Hello and welcome to Derp Derp and Friends Reviews. I'm Derp Derp.
Hi, I am Ski Nerd.
Before we forget, like, subscribe, and comment what we should watch next. Also, like and comment for our viewer engagement that I announced earlier today. If you
Yeah.
want us to watch, start watching and reviewing One Piece or Detective Conan.
So basically, how that works is, God damn it, every 1,000 likes across all the videos, we will watch one season of One Piece.
Every 1,000 comments across all the videos, we'll watch season of Case Closed or Detective Conan.
Yep. So if you want us to go through that misery, like and comment and subscribe if you want to. I don't know.
Misery for me for One Piece, but I love Detective Conan.
All right. Well, what are we doing today?
We are reviewing Dresden Files episodes 7 and 8.
Whoa.
First, episode 7 is called The Walls.
The walls. The walls. Sweat drops down. Damn. Okay. It's called the walls. Oh, I remember why it's called the walls. Strap in and buckle up, buckaroos. All right, episode 7, the walls, starts off by, well, a girl basically getting hit by a car. She starts off and she wants to see Harry. Bob's there and he can't help her. There's a dog here. He can't help her, so she runs off into the alley, and he sees her like running off, and she gets hit by a car. And Harry looks at the driver, and it looked to be like two people in one body, and he was really confused by that. All right. Um, so at the scene of the crime, they found in the car like the cup holder. They found some tallow, or animal fat, used for old-fashioned candles, and they thought that was strange. Why is that in this car in the modern world? Then it cuts to basically Murphy's like, this is open and shut case. It's just some weird animal fat. And was it like Murphy's partner was like getting onto him about like you're what do you do exactly? You don't really do much, blah blah blah. But then Harry is talking to Bob, and Bob notices something blinking, and he got a message on his answering machine. Yeah, I know. And the message was Rochelle, the girl who was killed, freaking out, uh, and she needed to talk to Dresden. And let's see. There was a picture of a guy named Caleb in the car, and the police were confused by that. So Harry took the initiative and he went to a frat. You see, Rochelle had a necklace with a frat symbol. It was like phi something, phi. I forget what it is, but that's irrelevant. So Harry goes there to investigate, and he sees Caleb, the person in the picture, and he's like, "Are you Caleb?" And he goes, "No, my name's Dante." "Oh." And he's like, "Are you here because my girlfriend died? I am very sad about that." And he's like, "Yes, I am. So you are Dante." And there was like a couple frat boys there, and they were like, uh, "We need to kick you out. Like, you shouldn't be here." And but then Harry mentions the dead girlfriend, and they're like, "Oh shit, you're here." Just, oh shit, you're here. Oh okay, yeah, that's cool if you just talk to Dante or whatever. And then so he doesn't get a whole lot of information. Just learns that, just still doesn't learn who Caleb is. Then it cuts to him going to Rachel's apartment, and he was attacked by some hooded figure as he went in there and he saw some jewelry. He's like, "Oh, this is expensive." Gets attacked, and this person goes into the closet after punching Harry, and Harry goes to follow, and then there's nobody there. They disappeared. They went through the wall. Or we don't know this at this point, but um, he reports like the stolen jewelry, and this lady's like, "Oh my god, you had stolen jewelry. Uh, okay, well thanks for returning it." Blah blah blah.
After, of course, her accusing him of stealing it.
Yeah, of course, because Harry steals things for fun. Um, she was like, "There's no reward for this." He's like, "Okay, I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck happened." Anyways, so then he has more like Morgan comes to his house or something like that,
Yep.
and they have a conversation with mortality, and they kind of go back and forth. They're like, "Why are you doing this, Dresden? You're not getting anything from this." He's like, "Yeah, well, were you there for my dad when he got killed?" And Morgan's like, "I can't be everywhere at once." He's like, "Well, I'm trying to be there for people because nobody was there for me." Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, and then Harry in the next scene goes to the frat house. But basically, Murphy tells him to stay away from them, from the frat boys, because they have nothing to do with this case. But it doesn't mean he can't bug the place. So what he does is he takes a jar full of 3 wasps, puts it up to his ear and his eye, which is very strange, and they fly into the frat house, and they see the Dante and the 2 frat boys in there. One of the frat boys is coughing, which is really weird. So he's like listening on their conversation, and it turns out that they're able to steal stuff, and they are making money. And Dante, his mom is in the hospital, and he's stealing stuff so she can stay in the hospital and stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, that was like horrible CGI. If they made that today, it would make it a lot better. Um, but it was really bad. We learned that frat boys have connections. So one of the frat boys, his dad is a lieutenant governor, and one of the other frat boys, his dad's like a hedge fund manager or investment banker. I can't remember.
Just really rich people.
Yeah, really well off. So they can use Dante as like, "Oh, you want your mom to still be in the hospital and be taken care of. Well, you need to help steal stuff for us so they can make more money." We still don't know what Caleb is at this point. Um, so they plan on robbing a bank, and Harry follows them. So they're talking about that, and they're like, "What about Caleb?" And me and writing my notes, nobody knows who the fuck Caleb is. Like, what is a Caleb at this point?
My boss.
That doesn't count. So he follows them, goes to the bank, and he witnesses them rob the bank. And one of the two frat boys gets cut in half, and the other frat boy picks up this like weird waxy hand thing, and it's like, okay, what the hell is that thing? Like, it looks really weird. It looks kind of dumb. Um, so the boy who died, his name is Carson. He got ripped in half basically, and goes back to the mortuary where we see Butters.
And not only Butters,
What else do we
Jim
see?
Butcher.
Jim Butcher?
He's in the background.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I because every time it shows Butters, I was looking for him because I knew he was in one of the episodes.
Okay.
He's just in like the background. You
Yeah.
only see like his back.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, you don't see his face?
As far as I know,
Oh.
but it because it was the only episode that showed him where there's a guy in there with him.
Oh. Okay. Well, maybe I'll have to rewatch it. I won't rewatch it. Maybe I'll have to rewatch it. um. Anyways, so Butters mentioned that Carson's internal organs were rotted, um, which was weird. Um, and then Harry goes to Bob, and Bob tells him to go to like page like 113 in this book, or 115 or whatever page it is, and he learns that it's called the Hand of Glory, and it's a magical hand that lets you go through walls. Um, and it's basically a dead guy's, like a dead murderer slash thief who was killed, and he now his hand is an artifact. I don't know. I don't know how that came to be, but that's what happened. Anyways, uh, we learned that in using the hand, the the being inside the hand partially possesses you. So when the more you use its power, the more it uses you, and it slowly like drains you of your life. And it feeds off of like um, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're feeling inferior or something like that, you don't have a lot of confidence. It feeds off of that. Oh, I can see myself. It feeds off it feeds off of that insecurity that one might have, and these frat boys definitely had it, because Um, so we learned that Caleb is a dark being from the use of the hand. All right. Uh, Harry visits the other boy's house, or his name is Brad, and his mom is there, and she's just like, get away from me, I don't
Very
want.
snotty.
Yeah.
Or snooty would be the.
Yeah. I think that's like the only time we see her really.
We see her twice.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, I believe.
She's so irrelevant, it doesn't matter. And then it cuts to the hospital, and that's when Dante is visiting his mom in the hospital. So Harry um, goes to, you know, uh, confront Dante, and Dante's about to leave, and he sees a couple nurses, and he tries to like hide from them because it's past visiting hours, basically. And it's like, oh, Harry's like, oh, it's past visiting hours. How the hell did you get in here? And he's like, get away from me, blah blah blah. And Harry's like, well, you shouldn't be using that hand. That hand slowly killing you. That's what killed your friend Rochelle. That's what killed your other friend, Colin or Carson. That's what killed Carson, the guy who got chopped in half. Um, and then, so Dante like runs away and uses the hand to get through the hospital walls and stuff like that, and he's chasing him. And then Harry gets attacked by Brady, but it's actually Caleb possessing Brady, and he gets attacked by him. And then they found out that Brady's mom at Harry's. Oh, Brady's mom went to Harry's place and confronted him about the hand, and she's like, "Stay away from my son," basically.
Because in their first confrontation, he asked her about it.
Yeah, and she was just like, "Fuck off."
Because, or yeah,
Um, I don't really remember.
because wasn't it
all my focus is on episode 8.
very bad?
Yeah. Well, they're all not the best, but
Is
except for the second episode. Second episode was good. We're digressing. We're professionals, totally. Anyways, so mom comes to Harry's and talks about the hand, and we see that Brady's dying, and Dante kind of confronts him, and he's like, "Oh, maybe that wizard guy was right. Maybe we shouldn't be using the hand." And Brady's mom was telling about the hand, saying like this was my dad or her husband's
Yep.
hand, and she was gonna get rid of it, but there was something that was compelling her to not throw it away. Um, so she just kept it, and then her son kind of took it. That's what it was. I remember now. I remember things. So Brady's dying, and then Brady dies because he uses the hand too much, basically, especially after the attack.
basically the hand, every time they use it, it drains some of their life force.
Yep. And there's only Dante left, and Dante sees that Brady dies, but he tries to throw the hand away, but he can't do it. Basically gets taken over by the
Okay.
hand, by that Caleb. Thank you. Uh, and then Caleb grabs onto Harry, and they kind of have a fight because Harry's trying to confront Dante, like, "Hey, give me that hand. It's gonna kill you." And so Harry grabs onto. Um, he has the hand. Basically, does a handshake with Harry, and he's able to then take some life force from Harry, and he becomes his own form. He's like, finally, I have enough life force. I can do whatever I want. He's like, I need to stop you because you're gonna go around killing and stealing. He's just like, yeah, whatever. That's what I want to do. You can't stop me. And so they have a fight, and Harry has his magic wand, which is a drumstick.
Yeah.
Uh, for literal drums, and he like pokes it into this guy, this Caleb guy, and he's like, haha, that won't do anything for me, and he takes it out, and it's all like made of wax and stuff like that. You can't destroy me. He's like, oh, really? And he doesn't say fuego, which is in the books, but he just like, oh, well,
Oh,
is it getting a little hot in here? Like a stupid, dumb one-liner, and he bursts into flames, and he melts, and now he's dead.
that's one of the points I wanted to bring up at the end.
Oh, okay, sorry. You can go in. You can go into it. We're almost done. So, we find out that Dante is still alive. Oh, yay! He's not dead. Caleb didn't kill him. Um, and then Morgan comes in at the very end, like, hey, all the evidence shows that you're the one who like killed all these people, and that's what they're gonna believe. And Morgan here has a job for you because you're able to resist this dark magic a lot, so you have talents. And so like the deal is we'll keep your mom in the hospital where she can get better, but you have to come work for he has to work for Morgan. So that's kind of how it ends. Did you want to say more about the Fuego thing? My bad.
Yeah, one of the biggest blaring things throughout the series is he doesn't say any words when he casts spells. In the book series, they say that the words add extra power to the spell.
Yeah, and he just puts out his wand or puts out his hockey stick, and he's like, "Magic, go!"
The actual spell words are part of the spell.
Yeah. Have you ever seen? It's kind of like so in Dragon Ball Z when Krillin does his Destructo Disc.
Yep.
Like I saw like I was trying to watch the series and I got the bad dubbing one on accident where Chi Chi has a British accent for whatever reason, and in the in the show
before Funimation dub.
yeah, so in the show they're supposed to use it like chi or their Japanese so ki to gather the energy to make that Destructo Disc kind of just like the Kamehameha is, right? So in this one episode that I watched for like 5 to 10 minutes, and then Krillin's like, Destructo Disc, engage, and it forms, and I was just like, no, no, this is absolutely wrong. It's so bad. It's on that level of bad compared to the books. What he says, Fuego or
Because,
what's the wind one?
Ventus or Ritos.
That's it.
But, yeah. The spells aren't as effective or as controlled unless if you actually say words along with it in the books.
Yeah, and it has to be like a word not in a language that you know.
Like Harry uses Latin.
Yeah, I thought Fuego was Spanish. Maybe it is Latin. I don't know Spanish. I never took it. Well, I did a long time ago, but I never continued. So I don't know what the word for fire in Spanish. So if you do know what the word for fire in Spanish is, leave a comment down below and kick our asses to the curb for not knowing the Spanish word for fire.
Without spoiling much, at one point Harry's teaching somebody, and he tells or he tells them to use Latin. Like when he goes to the White Council or the High Council, if you're looking at the TV series, they speak in Latin.
Oh yeah.
So Latin is kind of just like the universal wizard language, I guess.
Okay, I suppose it's because it's old and still around.
But one other point, Harry's father in the books wasn't murdered. He died. He just has a normal heart attack.
Ooh. Spoilers.
Because they keep saying he's murdered, and it's nowhere near that in the books.
My daddy was murdered.
His dad knew nothing about magic. Knew nothing about his mom.
But he was a magician, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stage magician.
Stage magician, not a real wizard.
Because that's why he named Harry after 3 different magicians.
Harry Houdini.
Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden. Harry Houdini, David Copperfield. I don't remember what Blackstone
Someone
is.
Blackstone. If you do know what that is,
name.
what that magician is, leave a comment down below. Remember 1000, and we will review
Detective Conan.
Detective Conan, that's it. Alright, so that is the end of episode 7. Now we get to the fun one. Episode 8 is called Stormfront.
Fun one.
Yes, coincidentally.
Yeah, Harry Belton Blackstone Jr. was a stage magician.
Oh, okay, cool.
In 1987.
Wow.
He was born
in 1934?
Yeah.
He was a stage magician at the age of 3.
So that is why 1934 is when he was born.
Yeah, but you said that he's 37.
And that's a 97, which was the year he died.
Okay.
So now we know. That's where the third name came from.
Cool. All right.
I think they
Anyways,
mentioned it in the book at one point. I just can't remember.
okay. All right. So episode 8 is called Stormfront, and ironically,
It's the
that
name
is
of the first book.
yes, the first book is also called Stormfront, and it's a very good beginning, like first book of a series. It's actually one of my favorites because of the twists and turns that you don't expect in it. Um,
For me, when I tell people that are just getting into it, I tell them read first two, but decide after the third one. Because the third one is when everything kicks off.
yeah, I read the second one first. Sorry, let me start over. I read two, three, and then one, and then I just continued from there.
Because the first two books are kind of standalone. They come into the events in them come into play later, but not for like 10 books.
All right, cool. All right, so let's get into this monstrosity. I mean, shocking episode. All right, cool. Ooh, that was a crack. Tiny cracks, tiny cracks, and more cracks. All right, cool. Let's get it. My neck's a little sore. It's a little sore right now. Okay, so episode 8, Stormfront, begins off. There's a couple in a hotel, and they're having a nice, lovely dinner. And one of the girls, like, I'm so scared of that man we saw earlier today. And the guy's like, don't worry, baby. Come here. Hold, come close to me. I got you. And she's like, okay. I think I got the black lung pop. So she starts coughing up blood, and she falls to the floor. And then immediately after, the same thing happens to the guy. And we're like, oh no, what happened?
That's exactly my opinion, man.
uh, where is it? A couple dies, they have blood in their mouths, and we learn that the guy's name was Tommy Tom, who is a mobster.
One of my biggest gripes about this episode.
Yep. And the woman's name was Jennifer Randall, who died. So the coroner, um, or no, it's they're at the crime scene, and Murphy and Harry are there, and Harry explains that there's only one way that they can cough off blood like this is that their hearts exploded. And Murphy's like, "What the hell are you talking about? People's hearts don't explode." He's like, "They can if you use a lot of black magic."
Which
And
in the books, the scene's a lot more graphic.
he's a lot more
Their
graphic.
hearts are literally blown out of their chest.
And they're in a compromising position. They're not having dinner. They're in the bed wrestling. And while they're wrestling, their hearts explode. It's
And
very, very graphic indeed.
one of the funniest lines of the book is uh, somebody is, I think, Carmichael, who is Harry's or Murphy's partner in the books, much better character than the guy that's in the TV series. Uh, he's asking like, how could this happen? And Harry goes, must be some really good sex.
It's funny because it's kind of true. Yeah. If you're gonna go out, why not go out bang? You know? You know? Okay, I'm done.
But that's one thing I love about the series is the one-liners.
Yeah, in the books, there's better one-liners than TV show. Anyways, so their hearts exploded with black magic, and immediately after he leaves, he gets confronted by Morgan in the alleyway with a sword. Boom. That's Clue. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we know who did it. All right, it was Morgan. We knew it the whole time. Morgan kills everyone. All right, so he confronts Harry with the sword, and he tells him that ancient Mai, the fiercely strong um, uh, magic wielder, magic caster in the city, um, who wants to talk to him. So he's like, I'm not going to kill you now, but you have to talk to Mai. And so he goes to meet Mai, and she's eating some meat. And he's like, ooh, with that figure, I wouldn't be eating that, eating a whole lot of that. She's like, whatever. She starts turning into like some beast or whatever. She's just like, I know it was you. It was Harry, Morgan, and Mai are the only ones capable of doing that level of magic on someone. And with the fact that Harry used black magic in the past to kill his uncle, um,
He did.
she is
He
very
did use it to kill the character, but it's not his uncle.
yeah,
It's his mentor.
and so she's very suspicious of him, and she says to him, "All right, if you don't want your head, bring me the head of the person that's doing this magic." And he's like, "Okay, I will do that." Um,
And which basically is their way of skirting around. Because
they also mentioned the Never Never.
in the first couple of books, Harry has what's called the Doom of Damocles on his head, which basically is a noose that's forever around his neck. That if he does anything wrong, breaks any of the laws of magic, instantly gets executed.
Oh,
Or by a warden.
I did not know that.
Because, or you're just getting to where it's explaining it in book 8, basically.
Excellent. All right, so immediately.
And also, Ancient Mai isn't introduced for another 5, 6 books.
Yeah, I don't even know who that is by reading the book.
She's one of the senior council members.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I have met her, I just don't remember her. All right. So then Harry immediately goes to the dead girl's apartment. And I think it brings Murphy with her because he's explaining the different kinds of magic that one can do to do something like this. And he explains that this is a type of thaumaturgy, which is basically like, if you think of like a voodoo doll, like you use something to hurt someone else through kind of like a small doll.
Easier to explain it, ritual magic.
Ritual magic, okay.
Because that's how it explains it in the book.
Okay. And he mentioned that love is a good, you have to use
emotion
and power to do something, a spell like that. So
love, rage, anger,
and hatred. And hatred is one of the highest. So he's just thinking to himself, okay, who hated this Jennifer Randall, right? And he sees a picture in her apartment, and he's like, oh, who's this other girl? So he finds out this other girl's name is Grace. So he goes to Grace's house and finds Grace's mom there, and he's like, oh, hello, can I talk to Grace? And she's like, are you with the police? He's like, well, kind of, just consulting. Because she mentions that Grace died of an overdose about a year ago. And he's like, oh, I did not know that. I'm actually here about a Jennifer Randall. And, ooh, I get to turn the page of my notes. Um, and that Grace died of an overdose, and Jennifer and her were not friends. Absolutely not. Um, she mentioned that if Grace had never met Jennifer, Grace would still be alive. Jennifer is the reason why Grace is dead, why she OD'd. And also the fact that the mom lost her husband as well, who took a gun to his own head and blew it into smithereens. Um, so, so she lost a daughter and a husband. So she's not happy, and she's absolutely pissed off at this Jennifer. Um, and then after he leaves the house, Harry's attacked by something. He senses something around, pulls out his hockey stick, which, Derp, if you want to explain that.
In the books, he has a battle staff. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
it's not mainstream enough to actually have wizard items.
I guess they want to go with hockey stick and
Which
drumstick.
they could
Because
easily have taken it or just a stick.
yeah. Also, ironically, in this episode, it's the first time he uses his hockey stick, and like when they introduced Harry in the beginning of the episode or whatever, um, Harry's or sorry, Murphy's agent or partner um, kind of harasses him. He's like, "Oh, should I arrest you for this gun?" And he's like, "Ha!" He has like a water gun thing. He's just like, Harry's just like, "Ha ha ha! You're being so funny." Anyways, so Harry uses his hockey stick and he casts flame or something around the area, and the being like runs away. We don't know what the heck.
Which is supposed to be Fuego again.
Oh, is that supposed to be a fuego?
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose it was fire. It was like a purplish flame, so I wasn't sure. I thought it was
Either
just
that
like
or
a dead-
fucking Bickus, which is just spell he uses to light candles.
Oh, oh. Anyways, oh! And then the next scene, Harry's in a garage where there's cars are at. And what's at the top of one of those, top of one of the lifts is a beetle that is blue. So they actually have the blue beetle in this. They know about the blue beetle, yet he doesn't drive the blue beetle.
And it's not just a matter of that Paul Blackthorne, who plays as Harry, is too big and let it fit in it. They don't have to actually show him sitting in the car. They can just easily show him get out of it.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the arguments I've heard when I complained about that, is that the actor's too tall to fit in it.
Fuck it. Adjust the seat. You can do that. Anyways, then Harry needs to call his friend, a special investigator by the name of Susan Rodriguez, who is. That's right, she's not Latina. She is.
Blonde.
And.
White.
Very white.
And she has nothing to do with the supernatural.
Yep, she knows nothing about it.
Because in the books, she's the writer of a supernatural magazine.
And she knows Harry because Harry is a wizard who is actually promoting himself as a wizard. So she's been doing investigations and stuff like that, and asking him questions purposefully. And in the books, they were kind of dating, I guess.
Or they really only have one date in the first one, and that ends horribly. Because it's even shown.
In the
In the show.
In the show?
Yeah, when the toad toad demon
Oh,
attacks.
right.
Because,
So yeah, so Susan comes white, and
yes,
she
ma'am.
basically hops on Harry, and it looks like she's kind of a dumb blonde. And well, she is, because when the demon attacks, she's just like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "Get in the basement." He's like, "But I need my coat. I need my coat." He's like, "The demon's blaring fire at you. What the hell? The hell are you doing?" I almost said the F word. I almost said it. Anyways,
Which
anyway.
in the show, it's just a tall, bald guy
Yes,
that shoots
but
fire out of
the
his
demon, so she opens the door for this demon, and Harry's like, "No, wait," and Harry's like, "Oh, don't worry, he can't come in unless he's invited in," and he's like pushing through this like war that's there. He's like, "Unless it's a very powerful demon," and the demon gets through, and he's just like, "Oh, come attack me!" And he just spits fire.
explained in the book, much like vampires, any supernatural entity can't enter any house that's owned by somebody unless they're invited. They can. They're just power severely.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Weekend. I think I said that too quietly the first time. All right, cool. So Harry has a great magical plan. He gets into the basement, and she needs to press his jacket. What the hell? And so they get down in the basement, and he's like, "Here, drink half of this potion." And he's like, "I'm gonna drink the other half, and we can use it to escape." So what actually happens in the book? Derp derp.
He drinks a potion, or they both drink one. But at that point, Harry also, or Bob forces Harry to make a love potion
Yep. So he
and a
has.
teleportation potion.
Yep. He has both in the book, but they accidentally mix them up.
Susan
So
does.
uh,
So she gets horny and teleports.
yeah. Oh no, they don't teleport. They're stuck in there until
In the
morning.
books, they teleport.
They do?
Yeah.
Maybe it's another book I'm thinking of.
Because Harry fights Karshaltok or whatever his name is in the streets butt naked.
Oh yeah. Wait, why were they naked again?
Because they were. It's late at night in the book series,
Oh right.
and they slept together.
I thought. Wait, what was the one where she's like all over him and he had to make the circle?
That is also part of Stormfront.
Oh, it is.
If I remember right, his original plan was to stay in the circle, but then the Toad Demon decided, I'm just going to burn down the place.
Oh, so
Yeah.
he
So then he
took
had
the
to.
other one.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. It's kind of hard to stay in a circle huddled with another person when they're kind of all over you. Things happen.
Or I'm
Leo.
gonna drop the house down on you or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Which
Oh, wow.
is very logical for somebody trying to kill somebody.
Yeah. Let's see. And then, oh yeah, they escaped into the alleyway, and this demon, he's just like, "Hey, Susan, you gotta run." And she's like, "No, I want to take a look at this demon." He's like, "What the hell are you talking about? It just spat fire at you. What are you crazy?" And so she does. I forget exactly what she does, but she does something where she's like distracting the demon, and meanwhile, Harry conjures. It's lightning outside, so he conjures some of that lightning and uses it as a conduit to shoot lightning at the demon, and the demon like vanishes or goes away, or it gets destroyed temporarily. I think.
Yeah, because in the books, uh, magical beings like fairies and demons, they have a physical body, but if their physical body is destroyed, they aren't killed. Just they they're basically banished back to the Never Never until they can gather enough energy to recreate another physical form.
Yeah, or Um, and then as after he killed the demon, he sees a limo running away, um, and he recognizes the license, or he doesn't recognize the license plate, but he's able to jot down the license plate of the limo. So, um, then Morgan confronts him again. He's just like, "Oh, we just sensed more black magic. Blah blah blah. I know it's you, and I need to take you in, basically." And so Harry traps Morgan in one of the circles, and he's just like, "Yeah, you're not gonna do that. I need to find out who the real killer is." He's like, "You're not gonna get away with this, blah blah blah." And so um, the limo, he calls it in or whatever, and he sees the limo like crash on the side of the road. And so he goes into the limo, and there's this woman inside, and on her phone, this is the last dialed call was to Bianca, and as we know from episode, I think it was 6, where we saw Bianca and they were like making out and shit. Um, he's just like, "Damn it, Bianca, how could you?" Which in the book, Bianca is there, and she has.
The only part that she has to do with it is that in the book, um, Jennifer Stanton is one of her whores.
She's got a lot of holes.
Because in the show, it never really says it, but she runs a whorehouse.
Yep.
In the show,
That's what I think in the show there.
like a ballroom or
It looked like a
club.
like a club, yeah. And you can get whatever you wanted, like drugs, sex, whatever you want, basically.
In the books, it's just a straight up whorehouse.
Yeah. So, anyways, we learned that the person driving the limo, she died, and her name was Linda. But as Harry sees it's Bianca on the phone, uh, uh, not Bianca, Murphy's partner comes to the scene and he's like, "Harry, you're under arrest. You're at the scene of the crime and she's dead. So we have to arrest you." And he gets arrested, or no, he flashes light at the guy, and so he's able to run away. I think doesn't he get arrested in this episode?
Yeah, he does at one point.
Oh, later he does. Spoilers. All right. Under driving limo, Bianca in cell, and then he goes, and then immediately he's like, "No, fuck this, I need to go see Bianca." So he flashes the cop with light, and he disappears. Goes and visits Bianca. He's like, "Oh, hello, Bianca. Hello, I need to talk to you." And he asked her about why is this woman in this limo have you on speed dial? And Bianca goes, "Wait, Linda's dead?" Yeah, and he mentions that um, Jennifer, what's her name?
Stanton.
Jennifer Stanton.
Yep.
Let me double check. No, Jennifer Randall. Jennifer Randall is also dead, and I think maybe it was Grace Stanton you're thinking of.
No, Jennifer Stanton is in the book. That's why.
Oh.
I was looking at the name for the book.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer Stanton in the book.
They changed the last name? How dare they? That's what I wrote.
They also changed the Monica's last name too.
Okay, let's not get distracted. All right, because then I'll get distracted. So he's confronting Bianca, tells her that Linda's dead, and now Jennifer is also dead, and she's like, "What? Linda's dead, and Jennifer's dead?" And she gets really, really mad, and she actually turns into semi like beast form and starts attacking Harry. And Harry's like, he's like, "No, no, no, I need information from you." And he pulls out something that's light based and just like basically sucker punches Bianca to the ground.
Yeah. In the books, it's described as a handkerchief that's inscribed with sunlight.
That's what he kind of does
Yeah.
in this, but they don't explain what
Yeah.
it is. But he has this pentagram on his chest, and he pulls it out, and then it cuts to
Yeah.
commercial. Um, so he gets some information, um, and he goes back to uh, Grace's mom, and he reveals, or Bianca reveals, the real story of how Grace died, by force, basically, because Harry's pissed, um, and he needs to get the real killer. Um, let's see. So the real story is that um, Bianca's Bianca's place is a place of magic, and Linda and Grace and Jennifer were all there to kind of take advantage of that and improve on their lives. And uh, Jennifer or Grace was the one who took the dark side of the magic, and she was like summoning a demon one day, and something went wrong, and that demon, the same demon, um, killed her. And so they went to the police and they're like, "Oh, she actually OD'd." No, but she didn't OD. She died. And so the mom goes crazy and she's like, "No, that's not what happened. Now, 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 now." And Harry was just testing her to see if she had any kind of magic from going mad, and she didn't. So she's like, I think it was the dad that gave Jennifer her talent of magic." And so he he's like, "Oh, your husband, you got your magic from Victor, your husband." Um, and he's like, what were the reports on your husband like dying?" And she's just like, "I don't know. There was just like papers and stuff. He had like teeth." And he's just like, I think he faked his own death." And we find out that Victor is still alive, and he had like books and stuff in an old suitcase, or not suitcase, chest. He had like old textbooks of magic, and Victor, after his daughter dying, has has this hatred for um, after Grace dying, has this hatred for Jennifer. Um, and I think I mixed the names up, but it doesn't matter. And then after he learns that Victor's still alive and Victor is the one that's doing this, Murphy confronts him and arrests him. And Harry's like, "Oh, how are you supposed to arrest me without these?" He holds up the handcuffs, and she's like, "All right, humor me." He's like, "Give me 24 hours and I'll get the killer." She's like, "All right, fine, then I'll arrest you." He's like, "Okay, deal." And yep. And then it starts storming, and he realizes, "Oh crap! There's storms outside. Storms outside equals more power." So this person is doing some kind of ritual, um, and he goes back to the mom, and she mentions like he has where he grew up was in Oakview, Michigan. So I'm going to draw a very crowded map. You have Chicago here, which is on Illinois, and Lake Michigan here, and then Michigan over here. So basically, has to you go around to get there. I didn't look it up on the map, but that's what I envisioned. Anyways, um, and so in the book, he does go to this house, but can you explain kind of what happened in the book that's different from the show?
That it's a lake house that Harry goes to a few times in the book.
He is hired by the mom.
Yeah,
Um,
Monica sells, which in the TV series it changed it to Courtier for some reason.
yeah,
Courtier,
whatever. It's Grace's mom. That's
which
who it is.
in the book there is no Grace.
Yeah, no, there is a little girl though. She in the book she
Yeah,
has like a couple of kids,
but yeah, not relevant.
and the husband. And she thinks and she doesn't, and she's trying to look for her husband
Yep.
because she thinks he's like cheating on him or something like that. Um, but he goes to this house, and that's where.
And he has orgies.
Yep.
And whenever
Whenever.
there's a big storm, and he uses the orgy, the lustful energy to power the storm, or power this ritual along with the storm to kill people.
Yep. And so in that book, Tommy Tom gets killed, which
And,
is the first kill. It's Tommy Tom and Jennifer.
and in the book, it very briefly mentions it, but one of my biggest gripes is um, that Tommy Town is a gangster, which is true, but it doesn't show Johnny Marcone, one of the most interesting characters.
Yeah. So that's who I thought was in the limo was Marcone.
Because he is in the book.
Yeah, because Marcone usually is in a limo in the book.
Marcone's probably the most powerful vanilla human in Chicago in the books.
Yeah, he's a gangster. He got to where he is for not being friendly.
And just from being a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that.
You're in the mob. You got a little power
Or
in the city.
finish the episode and then.
Yeah, we'll tell you what's wrong. Yeah, we'll tell you what's wrong.
Because that's why I have a list of the characters.
Yeah. All right.
There's so many characters we left out.
So he goes. So Harry visits this house that's in Michigan, and this guy Victor sees him. And he's just like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And he's just like, "I'm here to stop you." He's like, "No, you can't stop me. I hate all these people," and all these lists. I need to get revenge for the person who killed my daughter, which he thinks is Jennifer, which it wasn't. It was this demon. And so he summons the demon again. He's just like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And he summons the demon, and the demon says, fuck it, I'm going to kill you instead. So he kills Victor. He basically punches his head off, which is really strange. And then there's a horrible, horrible fight scene. Like, there's nothing to remember about this fight scene. It's like they just kind of go back and forth, and nothing really happens between Harry and this demon. And Harry pulls out his holy water gun and shoots him in the face. He's like, "Oh, holy water!" Ugh. And this demon wants Harry to like attack him. He wants him. He's like, "I know you have hate. I know you've used black magic before. Come at me." And Harry's like, "No, I won't. I'm not gonna do that. But I will, destroy you from hurting anyone else." And the guys, and basically he's like, "Oh, the person who summoned you, yeah, he's dead now because you killed him. I'm the only person that can bring you back. So if you kill me, you have no one to bring you back." And the demon realizes, he's caught in a corner. He's like, "Don't worry, I've been in this form for hundreds, thousands of years. There'll be some other sucker that'll summon me," and he just dissipates all by himself. And then Morgan's like in the corner. He's just like, "Oh, you passed the test," kind of thing. And that's pretty much that episode. They return the head of the guy to Mai, and now she's satisfied. And so that's the end of that. And then they finish it off really quickly. No, tell them what's wrong. Tell the audience what's wrong.
Well, for one, they left out a lot of the key characters.
Like Toot Toot?
Gentleman Johnny Marcone, who is basically the king of Chicago underworld. They also left, and Tommy Tom's boss. They left out General Toot Toot, who's a fairy that Harry uses or in this book, he's just Toot Toot. And then they left out, or they completely messed up Susan's backstory. In the book, she is a reporter for a magazine called the Midwestern Arcane.
Yep. And she doesn't do any investigative reporting. I think she went in the show. She went on ahead, and he's just like, "Oh, don't confront him. Just tell me where it is." Um, but Harry finds it anyways.
And they still haven't shown Mister.
They did mention him though.
Yeah.
They when Susan was resting after the first attack, he's like, "Oh, if there's any hairy monster that sits on your chest,
30 pounds.
it'll be my cat." And so
Uh, they didn't show the Beckett's.
also Bob wasn't in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the books, the Beckett's are a rich couple that, or the rich couple that Victor Sells uses for to has the orgies with.
Yep.
And they have a very revenge-ish backstory with Marcone. That's why that Victor Sells is also targeting Marcone's people.
Yeah.
Because
they think Marco and his people killed their daughter.
yeah,
But it wasn't them.
just she was victim of can't think of the word.
Bianca?
No, victim of
Whorehousing. The demon?
no,
Ritual sacrifice.
no,
I don't remember.
loose fire. Like they're in a game fight. The Beckett's were walking their daughter as Marcone and Hendrix were running away, and she was hit by.
He was hit by a bullet.
Yeah.
And that's what killed her.
Yeah.
Oh. But it wasn't them. I forget what killed her.
No, it was the bullet that, but it wasn't Marcone or Hendrix that shot the bullet. It was one of the other.
It wasn't. They weren't. They knew it was one of Marcone's men, but they didn't know who.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And they were killing different Marcone's people, and that's why
To get to Marcone as well.
Marcone was. That's why Marcone sided with Harry.
Because they're killing off his people.
Yeah. And that's why it should have been Marcone in the limo. And they didn't have his henchmen. And it's just like this show is just they leave so much out. But I mean, like if it was a standalone show, it would still like not be good because it's just like it's just Harry finding the answer right away. He's like, oh, I need to go this place. Goes to that place. Oh, I need to go this place. Goes to that place.
And also they mention a lot of a lot of stuff that just ends up being very insubstantial. Like the whole mobster thing. What was the even point of mentioning it?
Yeah, he's a mobster. It's more like a red herring in this case. Oh, the mouse behind it. Okay. But like the characters are all Bianca's all off. I like how they had her go into beast mode. That was like in the book.
Yep.
But beyond that, Bianca, like all the characters, like there's no character. We're so spoiled by the Marvel movies. It's not even funny. Like how bad. Like if they tried to sell this today, like they wouldn't even have the pilot. I don't think. It would just be the pilot, and we wouldn't get a season.
This episode was actually originally filmed as the pilot.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they shortened it down.
Yeah, I thought if they made this like a two-parter, which was what I thought they were gonna do, I was like, there's so much stuff that happens in this house, but it looks like their budget wasn't the best, and CGI technology at the time was really bad. Like, if if you're gonna remake it, like now's the time. Like pull a Netflix deal, pull a Hulu deal, something.
Hear that, Jim Butcher? Do it.
Yeah. But
If
make
anybody watching knows Jim Butcher, tell
the
him
creator has to
we
be
demand
part
it.
of it.
Not just as
You
a
know,
cameo.
even now they had like One Piece come out,
Mm-hmm.
and that was good, right? They had the Fallout series, which was good because they had the creators, the actual people behind it supporting it, and you can do that now.
And soon to be Like a Dragon, which Mulcat and I aren't putting our hopes up, but I'm hoping it's good. Because that's one of my favorite video game series.
What is it called?
Like a Dragon, or the Yakuza.
Like a dragon. Oh, so Yakuza game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
Touch for the very
Like the
first
English
day.
translation is Like a Dragon.
Oh, okay. But it's called Yakuza.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I can even show. They just released a teaser of it a couple days ago, with announcing who's playing as the main villain.
Mm.
So that comes out October 24th.
So far away.
So that's gonna be one of the things we'll be watching in October.
Wow. Aren't you guys excited? Alright, do we have anything else to say about this monstrosity?
No.
Of an episode? Okay. Well, I don't have anything to say either. I got a bunch of crap off my chest.
Other than that, I think it would have been much better if they did two-parter or like
Three-parter even. You can make this three-parter.
like if they would have easily have done like kind of like how Grimm did it, and they had like their own standalone episodes, or they had like a case of an episode, but every episode has like a couple scenes that has to do with the main plot.
Yeah, this one is just every episode is its own thing.
Like if they had like a little bit of each book, or a little bit of the book in each episode, and then the final episode being the finale of the book, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, that'd be good. But we got 4 episodes to go because that was 8. There's 12 episodes. So yeah, that was our review of Dresden episodes 7 and 8. We will be back next week with episodes 9 and 10. I can count.
And then, but probably Saturday, I don't know yet, we'll be reviewing Army of the Dead
Okay.
for our movie reviews.
And then Wednesday is Pokemon D&D.
Yeah.
So we got that.
Which will be about 10:30, 11 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah. If you want to watch or... There's always the video. You can watch it live or watch the video. It doesn't really matter.
And after... Still got a few weeks till we start considering what to do next. But please like, subscribe, comment, and help us reach that 1,000 goal if you want us to watch One Piece for likes, or 1,000 for 1,000 comments for Detective Conan.
Do it.
And
Or not. Actually, please don't. I don't want to. Alright, gross. Alright, we'll see you next time. Alright, let's end this shit. Cut? We're cut. Alright.
Bye. We're so strange. And we spill our own and just cut it, or cut into the outro.
Oh.
For a few seconds.
They can't see me do this. And this.
They can hear you.
Well, they can't see me doing it.